Good morning, I'm Kelli Paddon.
And I'm Bradley Gionet.
Welcome to Daybreak Fraser Valley Weekend. We are thrilled to have Silvana Kulyk on the show this week. She's the artist responsible for the massive mural, Gifts of Nature, which may be more commonly known as the Molson Mural, visible from Highway 1 in Chilliwack.
Didn't she just win a Chillies Award?
Yeah, she did.
We'll also have Sheila and Carson back for another edition of our Waterstone Laws series, this time going over considerations when buying your home on Indigenous land.
And we're packing the fun in today. It's the holiday season and it's all about balancing priorities. Natalie Bedard will be back with a new episode of Total Wellness all about that, sponsored by Rivercrest Contracting Limited.
Also, it's getting really close to Christmas, less than 3 weeks. Stick with us to the end of the show where we'll highlight the best holiday events coming up in our area.
This and the news from around the valley presented by Black Press Media. And coming up next, a pretty big announcement, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Bradley. Very excited to have you here. Christmas is your favorite time of year, right?
Certainly is, yes.
Well, it's so good to have you returning to Daybreak. I just wish it could be more often.
Hold on to your hat. I'm going to be here every week.
That's right. Okay. Birthday, Christmas, everything wrapped up into one. Bradley is now officially going to be the official co-host for our 2026 season. Everyone's excited.
It's snowing.
So it's going to be a great 2026. I'm so glad that you're here with us today so that we can share it. Merry Christmas to the viewers because we got your feedback and Bradley was a hit. It's like really falling down.
It's really snowing out right now.
It's cold outside? Yeah. Okay. So then in honor of you being here today and you being here for 2026, why don't you start us off with the news?
All right. Should we start with Abbotsford?
Let's start.
All right. So in Abbotsford, Vicky Hopes of the Abbey News reports the Crown is recommending that the man who killed Chelsea Gawther of Abbotsford in 2017 will be sentenced to 14 years in prison. The sentencing hearing for Gary Losh, 70, began this past Tuesday in BC Supreme Court in Abbotsford. Losh was convicted in July after his trial of manslaughter and indignity to human remains in relation to the stabbing death of Gawther.
That's awful stuff.
Pretty terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so something a little bit lighter. Brandon Tucker of Abbey News reports crocheting and coffee are the heart of Abbotsford's newest business, which opened just this past Sunday. The Naughty Brew, with a K, is a unique creation from the mind of Beatrice, who goes as Bee and was formerly a teacher. So, in fact, crocheting only started off as a hobby for her during the pandemic, and she's decided to take a big leap as she's found happiness crocheting, and I can't think of a better reason to start a business. So she's already amassed over 11,000 Instagram followers, which is astounding. So drop in for a visit at the Naughty Brew on Essendine Avenue.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun. I can't crochet, though. I'd just be there to watch.
Yeah, me neither. In Chilliwack, the RCMP is offering its sincerest condolences to family and friends of the missing 85-year-old man who was found deceased. Jennifer Feinberg of the Chilliwack Progress reports that Walter Schmer has been reported missing by police on November 28th. 4 days later, the discovery was made by an unnamed partner law enforcement agency, according to the release from RCMP Sergeant Alexander Greenlee on December 2nd. Really, really sad.
Heartbreaking. And just condolences go out to the family and so many people in the community who knew him. In more bad news, the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team has identified the fatal shooting victim from a last Friday shooting on 152nd Street in Surrey as 26-year-old Jaskaran Beering of Chilliwack. So despite life-saving measures, Beering died at the scene. This looks to be a targeted incident. According to the Anna Burrs and Tricia Leslie of the Chilliwack Progress, Beering had previous interactions with the police and was believed to be involved in the drug trade. This was from an RCMP release. Yeah, it's really sad.
Very, very sad. Bad news week.
Bad News Week.
On Monday, Adam Louie of the Agassiz Harrison Observer reported Hot Springs officials announced a 5-month community-driven project dubbed Building Belonging, taking another step forward in establishing anti-discrimination and inclusion guidelines. Building Belonging is designed to create an idea, inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility framework, an action plan to help make village services clearer, fairer, and more accessible for everyone who lives in, works in, or visits Harrison Hot Springs.
Yeah, I'm really proud to be involved in this project. So I'm looking forward to hearing from all the residents of Harrison Hot Springs as they build their belonging plan. So in Hope, Kimon Moodley of the Hope Standard reports another EV charging station is now available for drivers in Hope. This is good.
Very good.
This brings a total number of charging ports to 62. So that's great news for EV drivers with a little bit of range anxiety who want to drive to the Okanagan. BC Hydro says the ports can add 100 kilometers of driving to an average EV in about 5 minutes. So there are 8 new high-powered charging ports for light to medium-duty EVs now available to use at the Silver Creek Travel Centre on Clawson Road.
In Langley, lineups of shoppers waiting to head south in search of bargains for Black Friday took a dramatic drop at the Lyndon-Aldergrove border.
Huge drop, yeah.
Yeah, opening numbers less than a tenth of the previous year. According to reports from Dan Ferguson of the Langley Advance Times, there were just 4 vehicles in the queue when the crossing opened at 8 a.m. on Black Friday, November 20th this year. This was sourced from border wait time figures posted at CascadeGatewayData.com. Compared to the 54 at the opening of Friday, November 29th, 2024, it was a drop of 94%.
Wow. Yeah, I know we try not to get political around here, but the scorn face seems appropriate. And we can support local. So let's keep shopping in the Valley, in British Columbia, in Canada.
Yes, let's.
Okay. All right. That's it for the news. Huge thank you to Black Press Media and the fabulous reporters for all the important stories from around the Valley this week. And to Tara, publisher of Chilliwack Progress, who sources all the stories for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, after the break will be my interview with Chillies winning artist Silvana Kulyk, and then next in our Waterstone Law Group video series, a segment on things to consider when purchasing your home on Indigenous land.
Followed by Natalie Bedard with a new episode of Total Wellness, sponsored by Rivercrest Contracting Limited. All after this.
Welcome back. I am very excited to have Silvana Kulyk with us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I last saw you at the Chillies Awards, but we will get there in a minute. For those who don't know that they know your art, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Absolutely. Hello to everyone. I'm Silvana Kulyk. I am an illustrator, designer from beautiful Chilliwack. I create artwork inspired by nature and wildlife, and mostly using traditional and digital mediums. My goal is to create uplifting and gentle art that brings or spreads joy and warmth to people. Other things about myself, one of my projects would be designing a couple of years back an entire corridor of murals for BC Children's Hospital in Vancouver.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it was a wonderful project, bringing color and comfort to little patients. Very special thing to do. Recently, I just finished a collection of ink drawings for an upcoming poetry book that will be published in Romania soon.
And you're from Romania, right?
I am from Romania, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When did you come to Chilliwack?
I come to Chilliwack 4 years ago, but in Canada, I came in 2009.
All right.
Right after I finished my degree in graphic arts. I actually grew up in a small little town in Transylvania.
Okay.
Yes, the land of Dracula.
Of Dracula.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not inherit any supernatural powers, but I did grow up surrounded by beautiful landscapes, nature, wildlife, life on a farm.
So a lot like Chilliwack.
Yes, indeed.
And maybe you did inherit a little bit of magic, because between Children's Hospital, but most recently, you won a Chillies Award for the Molson Mural that you did. You made a little bit of community magic there, so maybe a little bit of supernatural there, or just super talent.
Thank you.
But can you tell us a little bit about the Chillies Award and what that meant, and the art piece at Molson?
Absolutely. Actually, I like to talk about this project because it has a emotional part to it. In 2021, in December, I saw online this artist call organized by the city of Chilliwack looking for artists to design the Molson silos. Yeah. And I thought, what a unique opportunity, such an interesting project, and I was so excited. And although I was 9 months pregnant with my second baby, I decided that I want to participate, and I created 2 concepts and sent it for the competition. And at the beginning of 2022, I got the news that I was a finalist right after I had my baby girl.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
So I started working on it right away, and, doing baby naps and late night sessions, I developed and created a project. And by the end of June, the project was printed and applied on the silos.
That was quick.
Yeah.
I bet that was a lot of work.
Yeah. I think it was meant to be.
So do you think it was your actual baby or your art baby that was keeping you up most at night at that point?
My artistic muses.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So is there anything you're working on right now?
Like I was saying, I just finished those ink illustration for this poetry book, and I'm working towards opening an online shop with my original work and prints. And I'm taking little steps also toward the long-held dream of mine, which is to illustrate children's books. Oh. And I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to publish my own book.
Well, when you do, which I'm sure you will, be sure to give us a call. We'll have you back and take a look. I just want to say thank you for what you shared at the Chillies Awards as well. You spoke about coming together and the power of art. And so thank you for your words there. Congratulations on the award. And thank you for taking the time to come in and chat with us today.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
We will be right back.
We Sunday driving, and the sun's bright shining. We load up the doggies, gas up our rifle. We're gonna hit that 4-lane, and then we off flying. We come alive when we Sunday driving.
It is a great day at Daybreak because we have with us Sheila and Carson from Waterstone Law Group, and they're going to be talking about, we're all going to be talking about something really exciting, something that I'm really curious about, and I know a lot of our viewers are, and that's about making real estate decisions with family, intergenerational households, because we know there's a housing crunch and we know that it's happening and people are getting creative. So thanks for being with us. So involving a lawyer, especially when family's involved. Can you talk to me about that?
So I think we thought this would be interesting because we're getting a lot more people that are approaching us, that particularly we have property owners that have adult children or older children, but are also potentially, and often caring for their elderly parents.
Generation
And
squeeze.
it's a generational squeeze. And in Chilliwack particular, the nice thing here is we have often have lots of space. So particularly for people who've had homes for a long time, they have some space. So for people who want to care for their parents and also help their kids, they're looking for ways to structure like ownership or potential transfers of the lands or the interest in land, which is like an ownership percentage, and are just not really sure where to start when they're having those discussions. So that's often where they come to us.
All right, so lawyers save families because you help with those difficult conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that, as I've spoken with you and learned more, you don't wait for a problem before you talk to your lawyer. So what are some of the arrangements that people are looking at right now to get creative?
So right now, like usually in the exploratory
Stage.
So just at the stage.
Yeah.
Thank you. In the exploratory stage, it's really like, what do people usually do? And like, there's no, obviously, like, these are very unique circumstances. All families are different. All properties are different. So we really start with, like, what do you want? Like, and not, like, what do you want in terms of who's going to own what and what's going to buy what, but, like, in your view, like, how do you want to be able to help everyone, right? And so, like, is it more that you want to be able to share the space, but is it, and make sure that you're able to care for people? Do you need help with the expense of your property? Is that a concern? Is this something that you want for your kids? Is this something you want to give to them? You're just facilitating a transfer of property to help set them up. Is this considered a long-term thing? So these are questions we often dive into first. And then we go from there, right? And so this is not often something that we'll discuss sort of generally with families as to kind of what you want. But then also you have to look at what's appropriate in terms of financing, and you have to look, right? So there's other, and you have to talk to your accountants because there's often tax implications that have to be considered. So it's just kind of where do we start the conversation?
That's fantastic. And so that everybody involved understands their rights as well, right? That's a really critical piece of this. So when we're talking about this, there's also the question a little bit around businesses, because some of these properties would be farms. So is there anything special there to consider, or any specific reasons that you would definitely want to get your lawyer on board right away?
I would say that we would deal with your accountants. So if you're operating a farm business or a family, like some kind of a family business on your land, then you do need to get your accountants involved really early on. And accountants and lawyers often work together to figure out. Yes, we often work together to figure out what's appropriate for structuring kind of any transfers of land, and then we can determine, like, do we need to explore a trust structure? Do we need to explore potentially a company? Do we make any changes to the title, right? Yeah. All of that has to be considered. Do you have any other?
Yeah, the only piece I would add is kind of more generally is that we often find ourselves talking a bit negative about these subjects because our job as lawyers is sometimes to be pessimistic in terms of the what ifs, which are usually not great. What if people get divorced? What if people die? So I think lawyers can assist certainly in sort of disconnecting the emotional piece as well, and just sticking to sort of making sure that people's interests are protected and talking about these tough topics, these what ifs if happen, and to make sure that people have given it some good thought, because again, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where something has happened and you wish you would have documented it and thought about it at the planning stage.
Yeah, well, and that's why I say lawyers save families, because these very, excited, goal-oriented actions are great, but then if something goes sideways and there wasn't agreement or understanding, suddenly there's fighting in the family. Right. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate that you take a really goal-focused approach to the questions. What is one thing that you would say to our viewers before we wrap up that you want them to take away from this?
I think, Carson would say, see a lawyer. See a lawyer. But I also think that for this particular subject as well, I think the starting point is to really get a sense of what are your objectives. Like not worrying too much about what document you need
Or how.
the nitty gritty or how, but it's kind of like, what do you want this relationship? What do you want this to look like? And how do you want it to serve you? And how does it serve your family members? And from there, once you could then take that to your lawyer and say, this is kind of what I want it to do for me. How do we make that happen? And what do we need to consider?
I really appreciate you both being here and helping to let people know how unscary, non-scary lawyers are. So if you have your questions, now you know the kinds of things that you need to be maybe thinking about, and then get a lawyer involved early. They're pretty easy to talk to. So thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you again.
Hey there, it's Natalie Bedard, fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach. And I want to talk to you about this time of year. You know, we're rolling into the holidays and things start to ramp up. We might be busier in our social lives. We might have dinners and parties and things that we're invited to. We might feel a little more stressed. Seems to happen at this time of year. And we might be just feeling stretched thin and thinking, now's not the time that I want to start a fitness and nutrition program, but I'm going to start in January. I always hear this. People will approach me and they say, you know what, I'm ready to make a change, but I'm going to start in January because things are just busy right now. Well, the problem with that is that if we're always waiting for a clean slate, the slate inevitably doesn't stay clean. Life is going to life. And so you might think, I'm going to wait until January, got the clean slate. Next thing you know, something comes up. Your work schedule gets busier. Your kids' activities schedule increases and you're like, oh, I just can't fit this in right now. You have travel plans. You have birthdays, anniversaries, things that come up that derail you. And so what I've learned over the years coaching is that it's not that people don't know what to do in their health and nutrition routine. It's that they don't know how to be consistent in the messy middle, in the most chaotic times of their lives. What I would recommend to you is start now. Start now. Your November self will thank you, or your January self will thank your November self. And you will be more likely to carry those routines forward. You won't be that flash in the pan of, I started January 1st and I fizzled out by February 1st. So what you might want to start with, your November fitness nutrition plan might be going to the gym once, might be once a week. And you might be like, well, that doesn't feel worth it. Actually, it is worth it because it's teaching you that this is a lifestyle. You get into a routine. You can stack on and add on to that routine in January. So maybe the gym once or twice a week. Maybe you get out for a walk daily, but maybe it's only 15 minutes. That's okay. You're moving the needle forward. So here's what happens when you start now in November. You build the habit of consistency. Even if it is 1 or 2 habits, you don't have to be all or nothing. Start small, carry that through into January. You learn what your non-negotiable minimums are. And this is something you can always come back to. So when life is busy, you know what your non-negotiable minimums are that keep you progressing forward with your fitness and nutrition. And you build structure even when motivation is low. A lot of us aren't motivated this time of year. So you build structure and you build trust in yourself that you can continue, you can be consistent even when we're not motivated, and most of us aren't motivated all the time. So this will start you off in a strong place come January.
All right, we are back, and the teleprompter says December is all about the holidays, but I think December's all about my birthday.
Well, happy birthday, but
Tomorrow.
I don't think the whole month is about you. Sorry.
Well,
We can pretend.
we can pretend. Okay. I can pretend. I can pretend. And it's not all about me because, we're about to jump into some events, but also tomorrow is the vigil at Ann Davis for the Memorial for École Polytechnique that we talked about last week. So, my birthday and a massacre. I know. It's sad. It's a sad week.
Yeah.
All right. So, maybe best to go over the awesome things to do for you and your family this weekend.
There's a ton.
But before we do, what are you up to?
I'm headed to Harrison Hot Springs tomorrow.
Okay.
Lights on the lake.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I had a busy week. I went to the Michael Jackson musical at the Queenie Theater, and I went to Martini Town, Merry and Bright.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good.
It's a lot of fun.
It was a good week.
Yeah.
This week I don't know what I'm doing because I don't know what's happening for my birthday. In case I didn't mention that.
They could send gifts to the studio.
I'm more, maybe just send a reminder to my husband.
There you go.
All right, so starting in Abbotsford, I like this one. It's for the kids. Get to the Abbey Rec Centre tomorrow night for only $2 to see the Polar Express starting at 5 p.m. or at 7:30. Enjoy Home Alone. So these are probably on Netflix, but getting out in community and enjoying the experience in a group setting, it's always a lot of fun.
Oh, I think so too, yeah. Also tonight, the big event is Cirque Musica Holiday Wonderland Under the Dome at Rogers Forum.
Wow.
That's exactly what it sounds like. It's a Cirque du Soleil holiday-style, all-ages event, and there's some tickets still available. Doors are open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7.
Okay, that sounds pretty awesome. In Chilliwack, our picks for this weekend include tonight, Friday, get into the funny at Chilliwack Cultural Centre with Jokers Canada, which tours across Canada and features a plethora. It's a good word.
That is a very good word.
A plethora of performers, including Juno-winning Ivan Decker, who has appeared on Netflix and Conan. Tomorrow night, here's something kind of cool. Go to Minter Gardens and see live music with Jeff Bowman, who will be playing holiday tunes in the Tropical House from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can probably also get some plants.
In fact, there's so many things happening. You really should check out the event directory at tourismchilliwack.com. Harrison, so I mentioned Lights on the Lake.
Yep.
Tomorrow's the day to go. You can see them anytime in December, of course, but tomorrow, and again in 2 weeks, December 20th, they'll have festive nights featuring live music, visits with Santa, and free hot chocolate. And I really like hot chocolate. And it's free. So it's a nice way to get the kids out in a magical experience.
Yeah, dress warm.
Yes,
Warm.
very
Layers.
warm.
It's going to be cold close to the lake. In Hope, the Hope Standard reports that the Silver Creek Elementary School's 4th annual winter market is taking place at the school's gym tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The market will include a 50-50, I love a 50-50 draw, raffle baskets, food trucks, and plenty of opportunities to purchase artisanal and craft goods. An opportunity to knock a few things off your shopping list, maybe.
I think so.
I think so.
My shopping list grows as the month goes on.
I'm glad it's not just me.
No, it's not just you. Out in Langley, Merry and Bright at Martini Town. So if you're not already in the know, Martini Town is a collection of meticulously constructed scenes for movies. It's on 272nd Street in Langley, just a few minutes south of Aldergrove. For the 3rd year now, they're open to the public to help celebrate the season with music and drinks and artists and vendors. It's basically like living in a Hallmark movie.
It really is.
Yeah, so Friday through Saturday this weekend, you need to check the calendar for different times as it continues all month until December 31st. There's no ticket sales at the gate. You have to buy online at marybright.ca. And tomorrow, starting at 2, head down to Tim's Community Centre for a free Magic of Christmas event for the whole family with live entertainment, crafts, games, face painting, the Christmas Swing Trio, Fat Santa Sewing, Danny Bay, and even Elvis will be making an appearance, as will Santa, of course.
Okay. And that's hosted by the Langley City Recreation, Culture, and Community Services. Okay. In Mission. See, there's a lot going on. Starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. How are you going to know where to be? The Mission City Farmers Indoor Christmas Market is back at Clark Theatre on Prentice Avenue, featuring gifts and art, crafts and holiday food. It's a great place to buy gifts you won't find at the malls or online. So, yeah, it's a great time.
Speaking of shopping, only 3 weekends left.
Yes, it's a little bit of stress.
We need to create some space for people to do some shopping.
We do. So you can choose to go to work or you can choose to shop.
I say choose to shop.
Choose to shop.
But shop local.
Shop local. Okay, great idea. Well, we will let people get onto their day. But remember to shop local where you can. It's an important time of year for local businesses where they get the most of the revenue. So thank you so much for being my co-host today, my penultimate guest host this week.
Well, it was my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to being your ultimate co-host.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd also like to thank our guests this week, Silvana Kulyk and Sheila Evani and Carson Davies of Waterstone Law Group, and Natalie Bedard of Total Wellness, sponsored by Rivercrest Contracting.
Please tune in next week to meet GW Graham film instructor Michael
Florizone.
Yes. My pronunciation of people's names is just absolutely terrible today. So
just add an accent and you're good.
Mr. F, as our last guest host of our final episode of the year.
All right. So, wait, we're still going to have guest hosts next year, though, right? At some point, like, we're going to need a vacation.
I already need a vacation.
All right. Thanks to all of you for watching, and have a fabulous
Fraser Valley weekend.